Hello everyone, I'm Colin Canet. Today we're going to make this little dovetail marking jig, so stick around and watch how simple this is. Well, the truth about dovetails is there's no standards. However, there are some popular sizes, and one of them is what they call 7 and 1, and that means 1 inch wide and 7 tall. And what I've done is make 2 inches, so there's the center point, so 1 inch on each side and 7 inches high, and that gives us about a 15-degree a total 15-degree dovetail size. So I'm going to use this as my guideline, and we'll start off over at the router table because we've got a little slot to cut. So I've taken some time and I've prepared a couple of blanks. These are 12 inches wide and 2¼ inches wide. And I wanted to make them just a little bit wider than the 2 inches that I think they want to be, or what they'll be finished at in the end. And I'm going to make 2 of them today because I want to experiment with another one later on. Now I've installed a 1/4 inch router bit, an up spiral bit that I'm going to be using to make the slot, but I just realized I forgot to set the depth, so we'll do that, and we'll be ready to set the depth stops. Now I've set the first stop, and I want this to go about 2½ inches, so all I'm going to do is measure up right about there, and that next stop will go right there, and this doesn't need to be that critical. So now I've already set the distance between the fence and the outside of the bit, so all I need to do is to drop that on the wood and move it forward. So let's get making a cut. Now there's my 2 identical pieces, and what I need to do is find the center line up here, the center line to this. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm just going to stack those 2 like that, and I happen to have a couple of 1/4 inch bits because I just cut a 1/4 inch hole, and I'm going to put a straight edge, against both of those, just like that. And if I draw a line up there on either side, if I can get them to stand up in there, there we go. I think maybe I'll do it on this side too, so I have a center line on both sides. There, I don't know if you can see that. I think sort of. Anyway, right there, that'll be easy to find the center of that. So that's what I'm going to do for that, and I'll do the same on this one. Okay, I just measured down 3 inches, and I'm going to draw a line across there because that's going to be the tip, or that's the plan. And now I need to find the center. There we go. Okay, now we just need to cut the angle. Now the next thing I need to do is to make a jig. I'm making a jig to make a jig. I need to cut this angle, and I want to cut it on my sliding miter saw. I think it's going to be the easiest, but I need to figure out a way of doing it to hold it, because you can't just put it on there like that. It's going to move around. So I've got a piece of wood that I've squared off the end. And I still need to do a little bit of cleaning up on that. I'll do that, and we come back, we should be able to make that cut this time. All right, I've reset my saw here to 7.5 degrees, and look at when I set that in there like that, I'll be able to make that cut. I just need to make sure that the tip of that saw is it will cross over there somewhere. I just need to figure that out. And then I can clamp this on here, and then I'm going to have to watch. I can't hold that with my fingers, but I'll have to get a clamp to hold that down with. So that should work fine. Okay, now I want to make this cut, but I don't want to go all the way to the end because I want to take it and flip it over and do the back side and do the same thing. So this side here, I don't want to cut all the way through. So when I make that cut, I'm just going to go part ways. So let's try that. And that's the reason I didn't want to go all the way, because I can flip it and I still have the square down here, so it's supported down there yet. Now the next thing I need to do is put the anchor bolts in, and I've just been determining where they will go, and this is the one part that does need to be critical, because these want to be at exactly a 90-degree angle on that block. So I just need to determine now exactly where they are, and I'm going to pre-drill those so that I get a nice accurate cut. And I think that one will go there. And I'll put a second one. Okay, let's put that lag bolt in, or that hanger bolt. I'll have to cut those off underneath, they're too long. Okay, there's the second one to go in. Well, there's what that's looking like. It's actually looking quite good. For a prototype with no measurements to go by. There we go. I like that. Let's put that on a piece of wood and see how accurate that is. So the truth here is that these things don't need to be super accurate. And the reason for that is woodworkers have been hand cutting dovetails for eons. So if it's out one way or another, you know what, it really doesn't matter. But I'm just curious to see, well, look at that. It's right on, and that one's right on. So you could actually use that either side and make your dovetails however you want. Amazing. That's a great little jig. Now, I'm not actually going to cut dovetails today, and the reason I wanted to make the second identical piece is because what I want to do, I want to sort of shave the edge of it, or probably just sand down the edge of it, because I want to use my dovetail saw and see if I can actually use the jig rather than just marking it with a pencil or something, and actually use the jig as a guide for my dovetailing saw. So that's what I'm going to do sometime in the future. Well, that concludes my video for today, making the dovetail marking jig. And at some point in the future, when I get some time, we'll actually start using this and we'll make some dovetails. We'll actually cut some dovetails with this. So I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.